If there are athletes right now, whatever sport, and you like their example on the field and also off the field, and these are your kids, who would you tell them to watch?
Jesus.
It seems that DEION is still in the news, prime, even after the second consecutive loss that they had to USC. But I want to talk about DEION from a different perspective. See, people are placing DEION as a role model for young black men in particular and men in general. But if you listen to DEION, he tells you exactly who the role model should be for our children.
If there are athletes right now, whatever sport, and you like their example on the field and also off the field, and these are your kids, who would you tell them to watch?
Jesus.
Next player. A great recruiter, I hear.
Yeah, but see, oftentimes you got to understand those things that you see, those things that you clap for, those things that you cheer for, those things that you idolize, they're not role models, they're models playing a role. You don't know who they are, you just saw them doing what they're gifted and blessed to do for 2 hours of the day. Could you imagine if the world got an opportunity to see you at your best for 2 hours a day, how your profile would just be enhanced, everything would be wonderful, everything would be so different, because we're showing you for 2 hours doing what you're gifted to do. But what happens to the other 22? See, that's where the problem occurs. That's where the trappings of life occurs. And so oftentimes we do fall into those trappings. I would advise you to be that role model for your child, for your friend, for your homies, for that person that looks up to you and looks out for you. You need to be that person. The role model should be somebody you can touch. My mama was my role model, man.
See, look at what Prime said right there. That's the truth. Role models, people that you should model your life after, number one, should be followers of Jesus, because he's the true role model. He set the standard. He set the example to live a life that pleases God. And if a person you are following is not following Jesus, like Paul said, follow me, imitate me as I follow Christ, then you need to find somebody else to look up to. Too many of us in this culture, too many people in America idolize these folks you see throwing a football, catching a football, dribbling a basketball, rapping on stage, singing, instead of looking at the people right next to them in their household. Parents, especially men, we need to be the role models for our children. We have to model the behavior. We have to disciple our children. As a man of God, as a biblical man, demonstrating biblical masculinity, we have 4 roles when it comes to our family. We are the providers. We provide for them, not just financially, but we provide for them leadership, protection. We protect them from the cares of this world. We cover them. We are the pastor. We shepherd them in the ways of the Lord. And then we are the priest. We disciple them. We lead them down a path that leads to life, that leads to deliverance, that leads to freedom. Those are our roles. And so when you're doing that in your home, your child will see you as your role model, not somebody on TV or not their friends. They'll come to you. They'll follow your example in terms of how to lead their lives. And that's what we have to do as men, whether we're inside the home or outside the home. That's what we must do for our children. These are our children.
My mama was that. My mama was all that in a bag of chips and would cuss you out to this day and not stumble over a word. My mama worked and made sure ends saw one another, although they never met. My mother, even when I made it, she never asked for mink coats and gold chains and diamonds, although I got that for her. She's on her 3rd home now, never asked for one, because she was old school. She just wanted what was best for me. And she wasn't thirsty, she wasn't hungry, she wasn't seeking and searching for attention and adulations. And now we got parents trying to be the boss. We got parents trying to be in every commercial, trying to be in every shot. Although I did put my mama in a Super Bowl commercial, which you're gonna see on Sunday. Yeah, I had to make her do that. But it's a different game out there, so we got to be careful who we're calling role models. But I truly believe the role model you should be able to touch.
Prime, exactly right. The role models should be the one you're able to touch, the ones that are closest to you. And that's on us, especially us men. That's on us to ensure that our children are not victims, to ensure that our children have because when you grow up, especially in certain parts of the country, there are only certain people you see that are quote unquote successful. And I'll speak to the black community. If you grew up in the hood, there are only certain people you see that are successful. Drug dealers and athletes and entertainers. And people see that as the only way out. But you have to give them a different picture. You have to give them a different image of what it means to be successful. You have to show them something different, because one path leads to destruction and the other path leads to being lifted up, leads to hardness, and leads to destruction as well if those people don't have Christ that they're following. So we as men must give our children a different image so that they can look to us as their role models.